Welcome everybody to another exciting show of Tech Thursday. I know it's been a while. I am your host, Akeem Sanders, and tonight we have a very special guest virtually in studio with us. We really practicing the social distancing tonight. And without further ado, it's all about COVID-19, post-COVID-19, and the new norm. And we have Bahamas as our special guest in the person of Javier Bowe. He is in charge of major accounts. Now, I don't know what that means. Now, I don't know if that means major accounts that relates to money or what, but he is the person in charge of major accounts. So if you guys have any questions, if you guys have any comments, please be sure to put them in the comment section. So we'll be able to answer them. We have the top man in Bahamas as relates to business solutions from the techno side in the house live on Tech Thursday. So tonight is your chance to get all the answers that you need as relates to tech-wise. So thank you guys for joining. Please share the link, like and share if you're on YouTube, or if you haven't done so already yet, like the page. Subscribe to our channel if you're watching on YouTube. And this is going to be a very interesting discussion tonight. So we'll be right back after this short intro. All right, and welcome Javier to the show.
Thank you for having me, Akeem.
Anytime. So Javier, before we get started, this is the first time on the show. This is a tech show, by the way. We just want to do a quick icebreaker, so to speak, so the persons can know a little bit more about Javier Bowe, the person in charge of major accounts as relates to Bahamas. But we just want to do a little human side of things. And so we're going to start our lightning round right now. You ready?
Go ahead, man.
All right, hold a minute. All right, Javier. Apple or Android?
Apple.
What? What? Sorry, off the show. What? Why?
I used to be a big Samsung guy. I was an Android lover, and since moving over to Bahamas, I had
Lord, problem. You're converted. Oh Lord,
yeah.
He is converted.
I was converted. So I'm no longer an Android guy, even though I still have my Note. But I've converted to a Apple phone.
I got you. All right, next question. Chicken or fish?
Chicken.
All right. What? All right, Bamboo Shack or KFC?
If I got a choice, I go into Bamboo.
Okay, all right. You get your You get your little Thai snack with your little blue mystic. I got you.
Yeah.
All right, final question. Let's see if I can throw a little curveball at you.
Bear in mind, as a baseball player, Kirby ain't do nothing.
Oh Lord, I forget. You was one of them. I forget. All right. Fiber or dial-up?
Fiber.
Okay. All right. No brainer, right? No brainer 2020.
No brainer.
I'm sure if you ask the kids about dial-up, they'll be like, "What? What is that?"
So I had a conversation with my son the other day, and I told him that back in the day you couldn't be on the phone and use the internet at the same time. He's like, "What are you talking about, Daddy?" I said, "No, you couldn't do it." So
right.
He was baffled. I was like,
right.
"No, couldn't do it."
Sure. Yeah, that's the reality is for real. All right. So the next topic is the role of technology and in digital transformation, right? We just came out of COVID-19 from as it relates to the Bahamas. We're now in post-COVID-19. Let's talk about what Kira Bahamas done. Our role was as relates to helping persons transition from the traditional brick and mortar or the traditional workplace, now from working from home, or even your regular clientele. Give us some insight how Kira Bahamas is able to deal with that.
So we actually started with ourselves.
Okay.
So in January, our CEO called a meeting with all the managers. And so his comment to us was, listen, guys, it's time to prepare. It's not if, but when. So we went into BCP mode right then. So he started to put in place.
Hold on. Sorry. When we introduce terminology such as BCP, I want to make sure that the listening audience,
yes,
right?
Business continuity protocol. Yes. Sorry.
There we go. We go.
He went into business continuity mode, and by doing that, he asked us to do an assessment on all employees that would be able to work remotely, who couldn't work remotely, and by working remotely we mean working from home, right? Okay. So he asked who all could work remotely, who didn't have VPN access, which is virtual access to get into the network from home, right, to ensure that they had that. He wanted to ensure that they all had their extensions on their phones and on their laptops. So at the end of the day, if a call needed to come in, they would be able to get that call regardless of where they are. All right. And so we did it on ourselves first. So at the end of February, the sales team that I managed were already working remotely. And so we didn't miss a beat. We still were coming in occasionally for team meetings with the overall team. But for the most part, we were working remotely. So what that meant was by March 20th, we tested it on the sales team first. And after the entire sales team was able to work remotely, our CEO then rolled it out to the rest of the company. So by March 20th, unless you were critical to the business, when the lockdown happened, we were working remotely. So as it stands right now, even though we're in post-COVID lockdown, the majority of our staff are now still working remotely. What that also means is now there are desks and everything still in our offices, at head office, but it's now a situation where nobody has their own desk. So it's hot desking, that kinds of stuff, because we're working remotely. Right. So started on ourselves. So in terms of the clientele, pre-COVID lockdown, we had a real influx of requests for mobile hotspots, devices, whereas the customer would be able to work from home. So we had a real uptake in clients requesting those so that their employees can now work from home and have access to reliable internet. What we also had was uptake in virtual PBXs. Most businesses have brick and mortar PBXs. And as a result of that, when you have to work from home, it's difficult for you now to get those calls from your desk phone that you normally would have received. So right. We were able to transition numerous customers to the hosted platform, which would have given them access to their same telephone numbers that they would have had at the office. And the transition was very smooth. We were able to assist some customers with that, and they never missed a beat in terms of their operation.
All right, hold a minute. We have some persons joining us. Akira Sanders say hola, that's my twin. Hey, Akira. Joanne Gibbs says hi. And how are you, Mr. and Mistress Stack? She referring to the wife. We are good. And she's also say welcome guest. Joanne is a committed follower on Tech Thursday. Welcome and thanks for joining us tonight. Javier, this is very powerful. The mere fact that you guys started with the transition prior to the whole lockdown or the whole notion of the country being locked down, from a company standpoint, is actually commendable. And even the steps that the organization took as relates to testing out with one department, making sure that you iron out all the kinks. Once everything was done, then you guys rolled it out company wide. I mean, to me, everything seems smoothless. So how were you guys able to help your customers once that occurred?
So once that occurred, we had as the manager of major accounts, my team was tasked with having weekly meetings with their the accounts that they manage, understanding what those companies' business continuity plans were and how we could assist those companies through the transition and allow them to operate kind of business as usual, even though during COVID we know nothing was usual. So that
Right,
allowed them to operate as normal while they were operating from home. So
right,
we had a few customers that contacted us, and again, they had regular brick and mortar PBX systems. And what that meant was they were not able to get their calls as normal. Or if they got calls, it was costing them an additional expense by taking those calls on cell phones, so forth, and increasing their cost. So in having those conversations with the customers, we were able to now move them to what we call a hosted PBX, which allowed for their regular landlines to be answered on their laptops and on their mobile phones through an app. So it wasn't, whereas they were actually being charged for these calls, they were using data and still receiving those calls. And because we ourselves at Cable Bahamas had already tested this, we operate the same way. So were experienced in the field of being able to provide this service. And so we were able to get them up and running, and they were able to operate business as usual. So there are customers that were calling them from Europe, the US. They were calling those numbers and had no idea that, they were answering this phone from home and not in
right.
the office, that kind of stuff. So they didn't skip a beat. And for businesses that rely on receiving calls and being in contact with their customers worldwide, that's a big thing, because if you can't receive those calls, that means you're missing out on a business opportunity.
Mm.
And so that was big. So we were able to assist with that.
All right. So Akira asked a question, and you just finished explaining that how you guys were able to help your staff answer the cell phones. And she have another question, and I think what is it meant by a PBX system? Right.
It's a PBX, not PBS. Sorry, PBX. And by PBX, we mean the telephone system that you answer on your desk. That's part of a PBX system. So it's a telephone system that you use to receive calls and make calls from the office.
Right.
So and you did ask me to explain the technology before just using the acronym. So
Right.
I apologize for that.
No
PBX
problem.
system is
Go ahead.
Now, I was saying a PBX system is what is used to make calls, and there's several different types of PBX systems that are used. And the most, I guess you can say, in these times of COVID, the most useful PBX system is one that's actually virtual. That's not what we call brick and mortar, and it allows for it to transition very easily from building to building. So let's just say during Hurricane Dorian, and let's throw that out there. If you had a brick and mortar or a system-based, land-based telephone system, and your building was washed away, right? You now need to go replace the telephone system. You need to go replace phones and everything like that. But with the virtual platform, only thing you need to do now is change your switch. And I think your users would know what a switch is. But change your switch, and once your switch lights up, we have everything back up and running. So Really the way the world is moving towards right now, digital. And I think the
Yeah.
topic is key because when we talk about the role of technology in digital transformation, I mean, we can see it now. We have cash apps popping up everywhere.
Yes.
Um, you have your Sun Cash, you have your Canoe, you have your Mobile Assist. You have all these different apps that are giving customers more innovative ways to make payments, to send money, to receive money. Right now, I mean, even if you needed a SIM card from a live right now, you can actually go to a kiosk, punch in that you need a new one, and phew, there it is. You need to top up somebody, you go to the kiosk, you punch it in, put the money in, and you bang, they got top up, regardless of where they are. So I mean, when we talk about the role of technology, I mean, it's just amazing. You asked the question about fiber or dial-up.
Right.
Um, at fiber, I mean, fiber allows you to do so many different things.
Yeah.
And once you have a good foundation, right? Once you have that good foundation, your your structure can be as high as you want it. I mean, and you can do anything with a good foundation, and that's what fiber is. Excellent
Right.
foundation.
Right. So the Bahamas, we just celebrated 47 years of independence, right, last week. And the whole notion now of technology over those last 47 years, I think now the discussion is now being had, even now with tonight, with making sure that the Bahamas is in the position to utilize various technologies to push the country forward, right? And Cape Bahamas being one of those staples to help drive these innovative products and solutions. Um, it's just fitting. I mean, you're a tech, I'm a tech, and we always have these conversations off the wall or by the break room. I say, oh, why are we doing this? Why aren't we doing that? Why aren't we doing the next thing? And COVID-19 came and was actually a blessing in disguise to show persons, hey, if you were doing this long time, in terms of having a digital footprint, you wasn't going to feel the print. So in terms of helping businesses now, because you're from the business solutions standpoint of Gil Bahamas, right? In terms of now helping businesses to dawn onto the digital or enter the digital era, what are some of the ways that businesses can begin that process with Cable Bahamas?
So the first thing is, and we talked about it during your lightning round, right? The first thing is to get a solid foundation, and your foundation starts with your internet connectivity. What we saw as a result of COVID-19 was the fact that normally um, your internet for downloading needs
Yeah,
to be, but if you're working from home, right, what you have to do, you have to upload and send
upload.
stuff.
Yeah,
Now your upload speed needs to be higher or just as high as your download speed, because in most cases you
yes,
upload and sending files back and forth.
yeah,
So when we talk about what businesses need, we have to start with that foundation. And that foundation is your fiber optic or your infrastructure.
yeah,
And once the infrastructure is solid, then now we can have conversations around solutions in terms of your telephone system. We can talk about solutions in reference to your disaster recovery, right? Because we can also talk about cybersecurity. Because when we look at working from home, right, and you got to now what we call VPNing or get remote access to your company's network, you now also have to look at ways that you're ensuring that you're protecting yourself. Most companies have not invested in cybersecurity. And I will tell you, there are hackers out there that are now targeting the Bahamas.
right,
Um, and so those are solutions that we at Cable Bahamas, we've tested true and true. We have customers that are using these. And just recently, we could take a look at Dorian.
yeah,
Um, Dorian proved to the Bahamas that, listen, you need a disaster recovery solution. Because a storm like that hits somewhere in Nassau or hits Nassau, let's be real. I mean, most businesses got to now start from scratch because they have no disaster recovery solution.
Right.
They don't have that information backed up anywhere.
Right.
And those are the kind of conversations that we need to now start having with those customers to educate them and let them understand that, listen, we're just like insurance. You pay your insurance for one reason. In the event you're sick and you need to go to the doctor,
Right.
you won't be sick every day. But in the event you need to go to the doctor, you need that insurance to be able to pay the bill. That's why you need a disaster recovery solution. As a country that's in the hurricane belt, that basically over the last 10 years, we've probably been hit by a major hurricane, maybe 6 of those 10 years, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been constantly just trying to recover after a hurricane. So disaster recovery is definitely a solution that we need to look at for our customers.
All right, so we have a question coming in, and PJ Douglas San says, if you're working from home, are there ways to increase your internet to accommodate more upload and download speed?
Well, PJ Douglas Sands, there's one answer to that. You got to call the internet provider and say, I need to increase my internet speed. That's one way to do it, right? The second way to do it is certain devices, right? We have mobile devices that provide mobile Wi-Fi, what we call a MiFi device.
Right.
It's easier for you to actually have one of those for your kids, if you have kids, for their tablets and that kinds of stuff, their computers, and leave your internet at home for your critical, if you're working from home, leave that internet for your critical work to be done, and allow them to operate with the portable MiFi device. It will come at an extra cost, but at the same time, while you're working from home, you need that internet speed for your critical office functions. So the one word answer to that is that increase your bandwidth. So it may cost you a little bit more.
Right.
But fortunately, at Cable Bahamas, we have some attractive offers that can get up to about 300 megs of internet for our residential customers as part of our trio package. And I'm sure Rory Major, head of our residential sales team, will be more than willing to have a conversation with you around what's the best package for you.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. We have another question. Joanne say, what's in my cup? That's water. Yeah, that's water tonight.
What you supposed to tell Joanne is it stays in your cup.
Right. Well, she say the cup keep on going to my mouth, so I can't say no. We don't know what the switch is. What?
Oh man, Mr. Sanders, she's carrying us hard today. But a switch is a switch is a device that you use to communicate, right?
Yes.
It tells the computers what to do, kind of. So it's not a light switch, Kira.
No.
It's a device that the computers plug into. It allows the computers, it gives the computers kind of instructions, that kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So when we say a switch, that's what we're talking about.
Right.
Not
I tell you what. Yeah, our audience, they can be tough sometimes. But I warn you, though. I warn you,
Yeah,
right?
You did warn me. You did warn me.
Yeah, I warned you. All right. I mean, this is great. What could the Bahamian people expect from Cable Bahamas for the rest of the year? I know that we're now in the hurricane season. Dorian is so fresh in our minds. What is Cable Bahamas, if you can elaborate, preparing or helping businesses to face this new hurricane season? I know a few weeks ago there was a webinar, a hurricane webinar. I know that's for sure. Unfortunately, I missed that. But what else is Cable Bahamas doing, if you could elaborate?
So every 2 weeks we are in we're doing a different series every 2 weeks. But to answer your question, the main thing we're having conversations around with our customers are disaster recovery. Disaster recovery. One thing I will point out, and I can't emphasize this enough. Freeport was also hit hard by Hurricane Dorian. Our data center in Freeport withstood that category 5, okay, and stayed up and functioning. So
Good.
with regards to what we have to offer, we've had conversations with clients in reference to business continuity. We wanted to understand what they have in place now. And then once we understood what they have in place, then we have conversations around how we can help them. So we have packages that are designed for the small customer. We have packages that are designed for the big customer. I mean, it all depends on how much memory you need, how much, whatever solution you need, we can design it. We're also looking at we're in preliminary discussions now for a secondary solution that I'm not at liberty right now to bring to the market. We're waiting on subsequent approval, right? And once we get that approval, then we will roll that out to the market. But it's also part of our disaster recovery solution that we're actually looking to expand as well. Once we get that approval, then we'll bring that to the market. But we are talking to customers in reference to hurricane preparedness with regards to their data. Because if a hurricane hits you and your data is properly backed up, once you get an all clear and you in your company is and you kind of have a computer, just one computer, let's just say for instance, you would be able to pull that data back down. So you can function again once you have your data properly backed up. And so it starts with the data and ensuring that it's properly backed up from a cloud solution perspective.
Right. And I wanted to mention this because I don't want persons to feel that we're straying away from our topic as in terms of digital transformation. But the whole backup solution that you guys are offering is a part of that digital transformation to make sure that a traditional store or a traditional business that has a whole lot of paperwork, for instance, if that paperwork was to get damaged or lost or there was a fire or water or this or next thing, that paperwork is gone. But if you had that converted to into a digital format and then you had it backed up, then your business is in good standing because you might lost the physical paperwork, but you still have the digital aspects of things that you could go pull it back down, reprint it, and then if you need to get it recertified, then that's a small operation to have done. So I want persons to understand why we're having this discussion tonight and how it all ties into a digital transformation.
Let's bring it home for persons to really have an idea of what they're talking about. The largest repository of information in the Bahamas is likely our Registrar General's office.
Yes.
Mostly paper-based.
Yes.
So can you imagine the turmoil we would be in if that building had about, let's just say, 30 feet of water in it, right? All of those boxes and papers and everything gone.
Yes.
So what that means is now, who's supposed to say when Hakeem son is born? If you need a birth certificate, how are you supposed to get it? So when we look at it in terms of all of that stuff, they need a proper disaster recovery solution, which I'm sure that they're looking probably to now move a lot of that paper to a repository where it's digitally saved, which we should be looking to do as a country. But to bring it home, that's what we call true digital transformation, because we were doing everything handwritten. Think about our licenses now and the way we license our cars. That's digital transformation.
Yes.
And it's because of technology, that's why we're able to do that. You know, and it starts with a proper foundation. If they didn't have fiber optics, they couldn't do what they're doing.
Right.
So it's that simple. You know, it's that simple. So technology has allowed us to advance as a country, not where we should be, but we are getting there painfully. And COVID has proven that, you know, we weren't ready initially, but as a result of it, we're now doing it. who would have thought that in 2020, we're having majority of our meetings virtually.
Virtually.
The world has been using these types of formats for meetings a very long time.
Yeah.
We're now just starting to get into it. And what that shows us now is that you can work anywhere in the world and still function as if you're at home.
In the office. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a big thing. It's technology.
Yeah. Most definitely. You know, even the show that we're doing now, we're able now to interact with our customers because, for instance, Joanne is in Freeport, and Joanne said we get hit by everything. So anything that is blowing up in the ocean down there, Freeport just seems to get hit. And so we now doing live interaction using technology. We're bringing you into our show, and now we're interacting with our customers around the world. I even saw my cousin earlier. She's in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, let's stay in Lauderdale.
Hey, Portia. Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, I don't think she'll be traveling anytime soon. So, yeah, you guys be safe. But yeah, technology and the ability now to transform your business is crucial in 2020. You see what I'm saying? And with Cable Bahamas solutions that they have to offer, I mean, I don't know why not. Why not contact them and get and see what solutions that fits your business, you know?
So I mean, we'll take it a bit further, right? So everybody had Cable Bahamas as the TV company,
right,
and the broadband company,
right.
So our name changed kind of for the sales side of the business. Cable Bahamas Business Solutions. We're not selling you internet. We're not selling you TV.
Right.
We're selling you solutions geared towards helping your business grow, helping your business thrive. And so that's what we're selling. We're selling you solutions. So it's no longer just, okay, I just need an internet. No. What are you going to be using this internet for? Let me help you, guide you. So it's just not internet or TV or selling you a cell phone. No, we're selling you packages that are designed to improve your business functionality. And that's what we're here for. We take the pressure off of you to allow you to go and figure out how you open up your next business.
Right.
But ultimately, we want you to trust us to get you to the point where you need to be. And so that's what we're here for.
Yeah. And I mean, even from Sanders Consulting standpoint, we do the exact same thing. And we have a very good relationship between Sanders Consultants and Cable Bahamas. They say, hey, my client needs this, my client needs that. What solution that you have to fit? And we work it out without involving the customer too much in terms of what is needed, what is not needed. And at the end of the day, the customer is happy in that they have a solution that they didn't have to worry about because the tech guys, they was able to converse amongst various agencies or the companies. And at the end of the day, they're happy. You know, so I really appreciate the relationships that Sanders Consultants have with Cable Bahamas as well, in offering and helping our customers get various solutions to fit their needs. I see we are way over our time, but it's good. The conversation is good. If you guys have any more questions or any more concerns, please feel free to put it in the comment section so they could be addressed. But Javier, you personally, how are you adjusting, or have you adjusted, or was it a norm of working from home?
So for me, I mean, as a salesperson, your job is never done, and it's never a 9 to 5 type of job anyway. So you're always working after hours in any event. So the most difficult thing is that you know, getting up and ensuring that you're in the same routine. Routine is important. So
Yeah.
if you're working from home, you can fall into that space where, okay, yeah, I can watch some TV, or I can do this, or I can do that, or I can go cut my grass. No, you're still on the job. So you get yourself in that same routine. You get up like normal. You get into your work mode or your work area, and you start going through your routine. So whether it's I'm reading emails from such and such time and such time just to action them, no. So I go through my regular routine, and that's very important. Once you have a routine, it doesn't matter where you work from. You just go through your routine. And once you go through your routine, I mean, you won't have an issue. So it has not been a problem for me because my routine has not changed. I check my schedule to see what meetings I have. If there's work that needs to be done to prepare for that meeting, then obviously I would do that prior to the meeting. Then after the meeting, obviously, is follow-ups. So stuff that you have to do as a result of your meeting. And then once you go through that, then, I mean, again, it's a routine.
All right, sounds good. I think I saw a comment earlier. No? Okay. All right. So thank you, Javier, for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us here on Tech Thursday to discuss digital transformation. Do you have any final comments?
Firstly, thank you for having me. The main thing I would like to get out to your viewership is the fact that having a solution to support your business and keep you going is very important. That's just as important as you having stock on your shelves to sell to your customer. Because if you lose your information, you lose your business, really. So it's important that you have your business properly secured in terms of security, and you have the proper infrastructure that will allow you to advance in business. And by saying that, you want to make sure that you have what you need to succeed. And we at Cable Bahamas, that's our job. So let us take the pressure off of you. Come in and meet and talk with us, not come in literally, but let's get a virtual meeting together and talk about your needs. And I'm sure that we have a solution that can help you get your business to the next level.
All right. Do you have any telephone numbers that they could that customers can reach you at?
So our telephone number is 601-8911. That's our sales number. You can get us at that number, or you can email us at sales@cablebahamas.com. You can also reach me directly at Javier.
Hold on. You sure you want to do that?
Yeah, man. I don't hand over any problem. If there's a problem and I got to deal with it, then I got to deal with it. I escalate where needs to be. And like our CEO always tells us, if they come to you with a problem, you own that problem.
Right.
You deal with that problem to its solution, and then you hand it off. But so javier.bowe@cablebahamas.com. If I can't handle it, then I pass it on to the person that can handle it with a proper introduction. So it's not a passing the buck situation. So it's not a passing the buck situation.
Yeah, people like it attest to that fact as well. Javier, I know whenever you see my telephone number, it's like, oh Lord, another problem.
Yeah. But I got to fix now.
Yeah. But thankfully, the last call was, hey, I have another customer that needs some solutions. So
Yeah.
The
referral was there.
Yeah, man. But we only could do that unless you have that relationship.
Exactly.
Exactly. So it's all good. But thank you guys so much for tuning in with us tonight. Be sure to tune in with us next week, Thursday, as Tech Thursday is back. We thank Javier Bowe, head of major accounts means. How did that
So
you slip that?
head of major accounts is I manage a team that is responsible for handling all of the major accounts at Cable Bahamas. And when we say major accounts, we're talking about the majority of the banks, insurance companies, large hotels, of course, the government. So my team handles the lion's share of the large accounts. And the reason for that is so we have what we call top 100, top 200 accounts. And those persons are managed with feather gloves, so to speak. So the team that manages those accounts would report into me. I report into our director of sales, which is Shauna Thompson. She heads the entire sales and operations team at Cable Bahamas. So we have a great, energetic team. We're hungry. We love to assist our customers, and so just call us and we'll jump in and help where necessary.
All right, sounds good. So there you have it, guys. Out of the horse's mouth, Javier Bowe, head of major accounts at Cable Bahamas. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We do appreciate it. Again, next week we'll be back. Next week we're talking about hurricane, and we're gonna piggyback on some of the solutions that Javier would have mentioned, and why your business needs to ensure that you have redundancies in place, because the hurricane will come. It's just a matter of when, and whether or not you're going to be affected. Right. And how would it affect you? So tune into that show next week. We're giving you guys some more tips and strategies to help with your business. And we thank you guys so much for tuning in. See you guys next week, Thursday.